Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be going over some basics of excretion and just talking about excretion in general over all different types of organisms. So first up, what is excretion? Well, most importantly, it's the removal of cellular waste. So cellular wastes are byproducts of metabolic activities, so are different life processes performed by the cells within an organism. So this could be anything from water, carbon dioxide, urea, salt, anything the organism doesn't need anymore excreted by different cells. So in larger multicellular organisms, this can involve an entire excretory system. In unicellular or single-cellular organisms, though, this can involve just an organelle or a particular type of cellular structure. So in protists, for example, they use the contractile vacuole to absorb excess water, which is our waste fluid, and then pump it into the surrounding environment. Flatworms have what's called flame cells, and these are, again, remember, very simple. Flatworms are platyhelminths. They're not very they don't have many complex organ systems, but they do have these cells sort of on the outside that are going to help with the same sort of functions that a kidney would. Same with our earthworms. They have nephridia, similar to the word nephron, you notice, and nephridia are pictured by the letter N in this diagram here. And again, same thing, cellular structure that's going to help get rid of waste that we do no longer need. Insects have tubules that are similar, and of course humans have the functional unit of the kidney called a nephron. Now, we have different types of metabolic waste, but especially nitrogenous waste that different animals need to excrete. So our first is ammonia, and this is the most toxic of all of them. Most fish excrete ammonia directly. Then we have urea, which mammals and some other organisms excrete. We excrete urea. And then, of course, there's nitrogenous waste as uric acid, which basically is, as you know, it is bird poop. So let's go through these different types of nitrogenous waste. Ammonia is highly toxic, but it's very water soluble. So it's easy for fish to excrete it because they can just pee all the time. They're in the water in a marine environment. So it's excreted by marine organisms in general. So things like fish, hydra, this is a little microscopic animal. But again, it is highly toxic. So as soon as it is produced in their body, they need to eliminate it immediately. Urea is sort of toxic, but not as bad as ammonia. And it's excreted by some invertebrates, but humans mostly, and it's formed in the liver as ammonia in mammals, and then later on we are going to change it to urea. Uric acid is this paste-like substance, bird poop, you're probably thinking of, excreted by birds, reptiles, and insects, but it allows for a minimum amount of water loss, and again they can excrete it sort of in flight as well. All right. Moving forward, let's talk about osmoregulation. So osmoregulation is the management of the body's water solute concentration, and the environment that the organism is key. So I want you to think back to when we were talking about different cellular environments, whether it was hypertonic, hypotonic, and what happened to that cell based on the environment it was in. Now, some of those cells would swell and burst. Some of those cells would shrink up. So think about that as we're talking about these different environments. So an organism that's in a saltwater environment, that's marine, is going to be, it's very dehydrating for that organism. So they're in a hypertonic environment. And the ocean is dehydrating because there's so much salt in the water. And so fish are going to drink a lot, and they're going to produce only a little urine in order to sort of work with that system. And the extra salt that they have is sort of gotten rid of through active transport and then excreted through their gills. Now, in marine environments that have freshwater water, it's going to be a hypotonic environment. So there's a lower amount of solute on the environment than there is in the cells. So that means there's a constant gain of water and loss of salt. So what these fish do is they excrete large amounts of really dilute urine to get rid of that water, so that they're not losing the important salts that they need. And terrestrial organisms are more likely to lose water by evaporation through their permeable surfaces exposed to the atmosphere, so a lot of sweating involved. So in order to adapt to that, a lot of terrestrial organisms have solid wastes and a waterproof epidermis. Okay, I think that's it for our general excretion, so please make sure you watch the other videos, especially the one about human excretory system, and I will see you guys later.